Collecting every Lorcana promo card? Let's get started. Alright, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I've been looking forward to this video for quite a while. Excited to show you where I'm at in my collection journey with Lorcana promo cards, and also just kind of a little bit of a peek into how I collect my cards in general. I know I get a ton of comments about that, like, can you show us how you store your cards, how you collect your cards, etc. Believe me, there will be content coming out on that, I promise you. I just want to make sure that I can do it the right way for y'all, you kind of get the full experience. But I figured this would be a great way to kind of give y'all a little bit of an insight, a look into, like I said, kind of how I store things, how I collect things, but also at the same time, kind of one of the collection journeys that I'm on right now that means a lot to me. Super excited to get into that, but before we do that, we will be doing a giveaway. I'll be giving away this Stitch binder so that if you want to be able to go on your own collection journey, you certainly can. And then also I'll be giving away this Lilo Escape Artist promo. If you do want to collect promo cards, go on that promo adventure with me. You can also do that as well. All you have to do is just like the video, be subscribed to the channel, and leave us a comment down below in the comment section. Thank you all so much for the support. And now let's get started on this video. All right, y'all, so a couple of quick call outs just before we get started. First, I'm sure I'll probably field the question in the comments a couple of times, like what kind of binder do you use? So just saving us all from that, I do use the Vault-X binders. I really like them. I mean, honestly, 9 pocket, 16 pocket, you know, whatever you're kind of looking to do. I think that they're fantastic. I like that it fully zips up so that it can be like actually like weather, like waterproof. And also I like that the cards slide in from the side. I think it just makes it a little bit easier if you're walking around with your binder, the cards don't fly out, stuff like that. Slide in perfectly with perfect sleeves, or, you know, really any type of kind of compact sleeve that you're looking to slide in. So that's typically what I use. Just enjoy them. But also with the binder itself, just know this is my promo binder, this 9 pocket. Really what I'm thinking I'm gonna do with this binder, just in terms of how much storage is in this binder, I'm thinking this will probably be my season 1 and season 2 binder for Lorcana promos. I believe there's something in the realm of like low hundreds promos for season 1, and that includes all the crazy promos, some of which are in here that are, you know, pretty nice, but obviously there's some that, you know, we still have to fill out to complete the journey, right? So just know that this will probably be my season 1, season 2 binder, and I'm going to do my best to give updates on this when I do make significant updates on it. Again, if I add like 1 or 2 cards, I probably won't do it, but the next time I feel like I make a significant leap, we'll bring the binder back and maybe show some of the new things, or maybe I'll just fan them on the channel, etc. But figured it'd be a fun way for y'all to be able to see like what I'm collecting, how I'm tracking things, etc. The promos are a super special thing just because you can't pull them, right? So it's fun to be able to kind of go on that adventure, that Easter egg hunt, etc. Excited to kind of tell a couple of stories about them. I mean, some of y'all probably know all of these, you know, so this will just kind of be sort of just kick back, relax, have some fun, and, you know, watch us flip through some cards. And then some of y'all might say, oh, I don't know where that one's from, don't know where that one's from. So we'll tell some fun stories along the way of where you might be able to acquire these cards, or at least the origin story of these cards. The second call out that I'll make is, as I'm flipping through, just know a lot of trial and error has gone into me being able to sort of get the binder in focus, in frame, with no glare or anything like that. So apologies if there's any glare within the cards, anything like that, but your boy's doing his best over here, I promise. But with all that being said, let's get into it. So the way that I'm organizing my promos is basically from start to finish in terms of when the promo gets released. I do take some liberties with it, and I'll call that out, but for the most part, the first page is pretty much just table stakes. You see, you start with the Mickey Mouse Detective, first ever promo that came out. Technically, I will call out that the first edition Disney D23 promos are not in here. I don't own them. I can only hope that I own them one day. And honestly, if I do, I gotta tell you, unless they're like mod play, I doubt I'll be sliding them in the binder. They're probably gonna stay in one touches and or get graded. Might even buy them in slab form. I don't know. Maybe display them like in the back or something like that as the studio gets iterated and things like that. But doubtful that those will ever make their way into the binder. But I will say pretty much everything else I expect will. But anyway, after those, you do go through the Mickey and into the Hey Hey, into Yzma, etc. Then the second row, really cool. We see a few things here. First of all, you see the Mickey Mouse Musketeer. These are what I call the Musketeer promos, or at least what I've dubbed them. You get the Mickey Mouse from the Gen Con exclusive. You get the Goofy from the Gamescom exclusive, and then you get the Donald Duck from the Spiel Ascend exclusive. Tongue twisters there, but I think this is an awesome like mini chase, mini collection journey that you can go on to be able to have these in your collection. Also, you'll notice with the logos here with them, the icons, all of them typically have that promo logo, that like very well-known logo. These cards are really beautiful and special just because you get to see like the actual like con logos on them. I don't know if they're going to be doing that going forward. The way I understand it, y'all, thank you so much for helping me out in the comments, telling me about the Pluto that it sounds like is the next Gen Con exclusive. But at the same time, I don't believe that they're going to be going with the labels anymore for them. I think that they're just going to be using the promo logo. If that's the case, just kind of adds to how special these can be from a story perspective. So really cool there. Flipping over and looking at, once again, we start to get into order for the next ones. We start to see we have now the Disney D100 collector promos that you can obviously get from the Rise of the Floodborn gift set special. What's interesting here is this is where we start to take our first liberty. So we have the Mickey, we have Elsa, Genie, Stitch, Maleficent, Maui, all in the specific order in which their identifiable numbers are. Just as a call out here, the Robin Hood capable fighter, Robin Hood actually should go up here where Mickey goes. Robin Hood actually came out before the Mickey. However, this is kind of one of those things where you talk about like with binders, etc. Like at the end of the day, you got to do what you enjoy when it comes to like how you want your binder to look when you open it, you flip through it, etc. Right? Like at the end of the day, that's why we do it, right? Like we want to be able to look at these and smile and be like, oh, that's so cool how that's organized, etc. We all have our little kinks and quirks with it, but for me, I'm very much a I guess a geometrical person where it's like it's kind of just nice them being sort of like very evenly, like a nice 3 and 3 here, and I kind of do that theme throughout the out the binder. But Robin Hood should be up where the Mickey is, but I just slotted him down here so I could kind of go 3 and 3. Also, just to call out Gaston, very difficult promo to get your hands on. Honestly, I'm actually not sure why. I just know that it's a little bit more expensive of a promo. There's a couple like that. Someone let me know in the comments if you know why that is. If they just didn't print as many of them, or if they're like European exclusives, like they printed more in them in a specific region of the world, something like that. The research I found is like for some of them, I know that like maybe they were a little bit more exclusive or fully exclusive, like in Europe, etc. Maybe the Gaston is that. I'm not really sure, but go ahead, let me know in the comments on that. Obviously, and then we also go into the Mickey Mouse here, which is the language exclusive, which is the first non-English promo. So those are very cool. Moving into the next page on the list here, and obviously the big call out that we see here is going to be the big banger on the page, which is obviously going to be the Rockstar Stitch set championship promo, first ever set championships that they started doing with Into the Inklands, where you have to finish top 4 to be able to get the card. Both Stitch and Ursula Sea Witch Queen definitely like outpacing their competitors in price, just because again there's just less of them in circulation because you had to get top 4 to win them. We've done a lot of different like conversations about the set championship promos and like on Market Watch, etc. So super fun to kind of dive into those, talk about those. They're all so very unique and different from the perspective of how many were printed, or did they print a different variant of them? When did they start doing, like, they've done a lot of different things with the set championship promos. They're really fun as they kind of try and tweak and work with how they want to be able to kind of roll those out, and who knows, there might be even more things going on with them, which is super fun. But yeah, obviously Stitch is the big card there, but also as a call out, like with Gaston, 4 Dozen Eggs, also another very sought after promo. Not cheap by any means. Once again, it could be just exclusive to a specific geolocation or part of the world. Someone let me know in the comments. I would love to know that. But yeah, super fun there. Going into the next page here, and this is where obviously we start to see I guess a switching into the new iteration, not the next season, but sort of the next wave of promos that actually starts with Prince John. That begins the next wave of promos. Scrooge McDuck, also another one that definitely was hovering pretty high up there in price, like 15 to 20 bucks. Definitely a higher level promo. So definitely one that's a fun one to open up, look at. Also, I just love the artwork with Scrooge as well. I know Flotsam and Jetsam was floating around when the first DLCs started to be announced and started to be played. Something that was definitely floating around in circulation when the first DLCs were taking place in Season 1 of Lorcana. So very cool there. And then, of course, going into the next wave of cards, which we start to then get some sort of new cards, I guess I would say, or new iterations. And it kind of, once again, it begins, of course, with Mirabelle Madrigal. Next set championship promo. Just as a call out, I would say like we did skip over Ursula Sea Witch Queen. You would have noticed that that's one of the blank spaces in the page prior. That's because I don't have Ursula Sea Witch Queen yet, but obviously as we kind of keep going forward, we'll hopefully pick her up at some point. With Ursula Sea Witch Queen, I guess the only thing I would say is like it's still kind of a playable card, and certainly something that I could see maybe going down in price. I'm kind of just biding my time with it if I'm being honest, but hopefully it'll go down in price a little bit more, and if not, we'll pick it up and add it to the collection at some point. But yeah, it gives us something to work on and chase and help build the binder out. But with Mirabelle, obviously the big story with her is like obviously you go from having 4 set champion, like finishing top 4 in set championships, rewards you with the Stitch or the Ursula. With Mirabelle, of course, they started where it's top 8. I've always been outspoken saying like, I think it's really cool. I just think like the more of these around, the better, just so they're more accessible to people. And, it's, that's what makes it fun to be able to go in and be able to, add cards like that to your promo binder and things like that. So super fun to have that. And then of course you see the Stitch Alien Buccaneer, which is, I believe, the first promo card that you can pick up from an actual gift set or, actual specific set that has the promo logo on it. I of course know that like you have the Disney 100 cards that come with Rise of the Floodborn, super special set there obviously, but from an individual promo perspective, I believe Stitch, if I'm not mistaken, is the first card where you can go ahead and make that happen. So yeah, super cool cards there. Moving on down the list, and once again we're also going to run into where we see some more like blank spaces here. However, there's only one space that's actually like going to be, I guess, a used slot, if you want to call it that. So one of these 2 slots will be the Scar. Is it Heartless Hunter or Heartless? The set championship promo for Azure at Sea. Yeah. Right? Yeah, for Azure at Sea. Three back. Yep. So the set championship promo for Azure at Sea, it'll go into one of those 2. The other will remain blank because this is actually low-key kind of a big money page here. Definitely one with some very interesting cards with interesting stories. Obviously, this lineup here, you have the Mickey Mouse, you have the Elsa, and you have the Anna Braving the Storm. Anna Braving the Storm is actually the most expensive of these 3 promos. I believe the Mickey and the Elsa are still rocking pretty high price tags. I think the Mickey upwards of about $40, the Elsa 80. Why that is, who knows? But what is very interesting is the Anna right now, and I think I've talked about this in market watches before. Anna's hard to get your hands on, man. Like she's not like, you don't see a lot of her out there. Like it took me a long time to be able to kind of bide my time to say like, okay, do I want to be able to pick this card up? Like a lot of times you either have to overpay for her or you have to get her in play set like ×4, and it's like, I don't want 4 of them. I just want one of them. You know what I mean? So, very interesting there. Obviously the big story is of course with these blank, lines here. The idea is you get them at the Disney parks, you go and get them signed by Mickey or Elsa or Anna. Only thing that really comes to mind for me with the Anna is that, like, I mean, maybe they printed less of Anna with the understanding or thought of like, well, everybody loves Mickey and Elsa. We just need more of them to give out for kids and things like that. And there's going to be fewer Annas. I honestly have no idea, but yeah, Anna is drastically the most expensive one. It's super interesting, but again, just kind of adds to the lore of the card itself. And then also in here, we also see Mickey Mouse, Pirate Captain, which of course comes from the Into the Ink lands, Costco exclusive. This is where we start bringing in the red and the different color border texture. I just think it looks so cool. It adds some really unique pop to the card. Absolutely love that. Hope they keep doing it. Obviously, it looks like they might with a promo that maybe we'll see here shortly after. But also, just as a call out here, Anna Icebreaker, another card like very, very sought after. Not cheap. And for this one, I am pretty sure this was a European exclusive, or they were overprinted in Europe versus the US. I do remember reading that it took them a little bit longer to make their way into the US, and what ones did make their way into the US were more like, secondary market eBay and Mercari and things like that. So super fun one. Definitely, this is the page. This is the Anna page. Like Anna's rocking it. She's doing her thing on this page. So super cool to see there. And then going into the next page here, once again, we have where we see like Perdita, Li Shang, Snow White, super cool. Then we get into Hiro Hamada, both the regular promo and the Enchanted promo. And once again, with the set championship promos, this is where we kind of start to see them having some more fun with it. And this is where, obviously, with Hiro, where we started to see them say, okay, well, if you finish top 8, you get the actual, Enchanted promo, but everyone who participates gets this regular promo, which, again, super cool thing to be able to do and to be able to offer up people who go in and play at local game stores. So that's really cool, really awesome story. The set championship promos, the evolution of them, I find super interesting. I think it's really cool. I'm excited to see like the Maleficent Monstrous Dragon, which is going to be the next one with Fabled, the one Whispers in the Well after that. I'm super excited to see the evolution with those. I just think that it's just super interesting. As a collector, that makes me really interested. And also then once again, we see the Lilo escape artist here with the yellow border, as we saw called out with the Mickey Mouse, the yellow border with Lilo, super cool. I know that for when Fabled comes out, I know that, and I can't vision the Elsa in my mind right now, but I know Elsa is the promo card for the gift set. I forget if she has a purple border or not. It's going to be one of those things where I'm going to go look at it like, online or something, and I'm going to be like, oh, okay, there you go. There's my answer. But as I'm sitting here talking my way through it right now, I can't really remember. But super excited for that promo to come out as well. And then you have Moana Adventure of Land and Sea. Once again, this is the one where it's from Europe, where you would get it at by going to Moana 2, going to the movie. They were giving these out in theaters. I believe that's the story with this promo, but they were only doing it in theaters in Europe, which very interesting, very accessible card though, like not an overly expensive card, but once again, the story of it, that's kind of what's really cool with all these promos, right? Is like each one of them kind of has their own specific story behind it. And that's really fun. Like it's fun to just be able to flip through and be like, oh, that's cool because of this, and that's cool because of that. It's fun when the cards have a specific story behind them. I'm super big on that. But the other call out that I'll just make is you'll also notice you start to see the logo change, or the promo logo change, as they did start updating that as it pertains to like cards that are, cards that you can play at, from a set championship perspective. And then you also see the Moana logo here that, still has that normal logo on it, just because you don't play to win it, or to receive it. It's something that's just a promo from the standpoint of going and doing something and receiving it, based off of that action. So super cool there. And then, we start to move into what's left of our set championship promos, which is going to be Reign of Jafar, where we start to see we had Lady on the other side, moving into like Aladdin, Patch, Pull the Lever, Minnie Mouse, etc. No surprise here, these two empty slots are going to be for the Jafar normal super rare promo card, right, with the box, a text box and everything. And then, of course, the Jafar Enchanted promo, which at some point we'll make our way and get our hands on those. But but at time of this recording, it's only been like a week and a half into set championships for Reign of Jafar. So all in good time. Obviously, can only do so much. But once again, similar to the other cards that we don't have in the promo binder, will be super fun to journey towards getting those. So that'll be super cool. And then also finally here on the bottom, we have the Cusco and the Baymax, which you do receive as promos from the prize wall from Continentals. At time of this recording, I do have my Cinderella Stout-Hearted and my Rapunzel Gifted with Healing somewhere. I haven't added them to the binder, which is super sad because those two cards are absolutely beautiful, but I recently added those to the binder to go along with Cusco and Baymax, so super fun there. And then finally we start getting into the D23 page, just because this is all we have from a D23 perspective as of now, short of course, the D23 first edition promos, which at some point I will do what I can to bring those into the collection. I think that's going to be a process and a journey over many years, but hopefully we're able to do it one day. And I'm sure years from now, when I'm a super old man and I complete this set, the set of those, I'll just smile and be like, we made it, we did it. But the one thing I'll say with the D23 promos is, over time, I hope that they continue to do these promos, of course, with the D23 logo on them. And of course, here, as we see with like the Iago and then the Mickey Playful Sorcerer, we see the D23 logo on those. Over time, what I really hope I can do, as hopefully more D23 promos continue to get created, whether it's from another set like we have with these top 6 up here, or like the Mickey and the Iago, where you got the Mickey from the D23 Expo convention in California, and then the Iago, the Out of Reach, which you received from being a D23 member with that package. I believe you had to at least be a gold member. Hopefully with the D23 logo, hopefully they keep making these, because I would say my next big goal is I would really love to have a D23 binder of just cards that have the D23 logo on it. I think that'd be awesome. But for now, there's really no reason to have two binders. They can just kind of go into the promo side of things, because it's just fun to have them here with all of the other cards that we've collected along the way. But yeah. That's what we have so far. Obviously, a lot of fun cards, a lot of fun stories behind these, behind acquiring these cards and building them out. Super fun to mess with the binder. And again, like I said, we have a lot of pages going forward. So as season 2 of Lorcana kind of kickstarts and we have more cards be able to come out into circulation. Hopefully we can add to the binder and hopefully do another episode doing an update on it. And yeah, hopefully you can kind of watch this process grow. Hopefully it gave you some sort of inspiration to say like, oh, that was cool, or something like that in terms of like organizing the binder, etc. But let me know in the comments how you organize your binders, or how you like to organize your cards, because I'm also looking for ideas too, right? This is just kind of the way I like to do it, but I think all of us as collectors are always kind of in that mode of like, we always feel like, oh, that would be cool, that maybe I'll do this differently or do that differently. I think that's the beauty of collecting. But all right, y'all, that's gonna do it for today's episode. If you enjoyed today's content, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Go get in the Discord, links down in the description. Also make sure to enter into the giveaway to get the binder and the promo card. And until next time, we're eternally grateful for you all, and we'll see you all on the other side. Peace out.